Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Thursday, the 27th of July, 2023, and here I'm in downtown Sydney, doing a little bit of shopping for groceries and things like that. And I thought to myself that I come, on usual spot, visit usual spot, and do a video for you guys. I guess there's a fair bit to talk about. I got a little bit of paper here with me. And this video, I'm gonna name it Lamentations, okay? Lamentations. I'm not gonna be talking about anything to do with Jeremiah, regarding Lamentations, but Lamentations, folks, with what we are seeing, in the whole world regarding the geopolitical, it just, beggars, belief just to, see everything that is happening, folks. Let me start with what have we got? The birth pains. Okay, so all of us are watching in the news now how in Greece they are having bushfires in the island of Rhodes. Okay, incredible scenes or video footage coming out, being shown on our news coverage across the world. And I think also in India very recently they had flood issues, and also in Milan as well. So the birth pains are really biting, folks, and obviously all these birth pains have been prophesying. If you read the book of Matthew, so it's not surprise, folks. But when you then start adding what's happening, in the economy, with a high cost of living. For example, like I noticed that just the price of a loaf of bread here in Sydney has risen something like about 25% within the last 6 months. And, the cost of groceries are getting higher and higher, by the month. So, people are having issues with affordability because, there's only so many pay rises that you can have, on a yearly basis. Then most people here in Australia with a full-time job, they only get one pay rise per year, and that varies between say 2 to 5%, for the average employee. But also, I guess it depends on what industry you work for as well. So, and also the cost of housing. So, young people wanting to buy a home, it's just about impossible. You really gotta be earning, astronomical amounts of money. You practically gotta have, a girlfriend or a wife to be able to purchase a new home these days. And even in the outer suburbs, it's not just in the main cities, but outside of downtown, if you like, in most countries, or at least in most Western countries. And also the cost of rents. People wanting to rent is going through the roof. There are many industries here in Australia, for example, that are finding it very difficult to employ people, especially restaurants, retail outlets, and nursing homes. Now, what has been happening here in Australia is that, for many years, then Australia used to bring, or they used to sort of stimulate the economy by allowing university students to come from overseas, okay, on visas, okay. And then these students will get employment opportunities working for, in the retail sector, selling things, or for nursing homes, or for, cafes and things like that. Those kind of industries. And now that the cost of rent has gone through the roof. As much as they want to come, they cannot come anymore because they can't afford the rents. Just people here in Sydney alone are seeing on the news on a regular basis. Okay, when they go to find a place to rent, there are, huge queues, people lining up, huge queues just to visit a rental property, and property owners, obviously taking advantage of this and raising the cost of rents. So, because then these industries like nursing homes, retail outlets, and the catering industry like cafes and things like that, restaurants, because they can no longer, rely on students coming in from overseas, then, they're finding it very difficult to employ, people to work for them, you know. As a matter of fact, some nursing homes have compliance center they can't get staff, and some of them have actually closed because they have not been able to get staff, you know, to work for them. So, uh, you know, how the world is imploding around us, you know. Also, if you add, you know, the woke agenda, you know, the cancel culture agenda, and all the other leftist agendas, you know, it is just hard to fathom, folks, you know, like living in this age, you know, everything that is happening, you know, around the world. And of course, all this has been prophesied that, you know, that this will happen, you know, like if we read the book of Matthew and Luke, you know, of course this has been prophesied, but nonetheless, you know, if you ask me pre-COVID-19, you know, if I was to expect, you know, what we are seeing in the world right now, you know, and I would have said to you, no way, you know, like just, you know, that's why you know, I'm calling or naming this video Lamentations, you know, because I'm kind of like lamenting as to how the world is falling apart. But although the world is falling apart, you know, it's kind of like falling implies prophetically. So, yeah, it is just unbelievable, folks. You know that, you know, the things that we see, you know, on the news on a daily basis. You know, the birth pains. You know, the geopolitical. You know, the rumors of wars. You know, you know, it's just amazing. And you know, the cost of the end time Bible prophecies is astronomical, folks, because, you know, think about the three Abrahamic religions, okay? For example, Christianity. Now, you know, America, you could say, or you could argue that they represent the interests of the West, okay? In other words, you know, the interests of Christians and also of Israel as well, or the Jewish people, okay? Because, you know, America is the big brother of Israel. I call America Esau, and I call Israel Jacob. And you know, think of the cost of how America has to, you know, arm themselves to the teeth, you know, with all the latest, you know, weapons and everything, just to defend the interests of the West, okay, to protect us, if you like. Then think also of how Israel has to arm themselves, you know, with all the latest technology and weapons and things like that to protect themselves from, you know, the terrorists like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Syrians, and also against, the Iranian regime. You know, we know that, Iran keeps provoking the nation of Israel. You know, they are still working on their nuclear program. They invest in billions into this, you know. And of course, talking about Iran now, America has had to invest, billions, if you like, to protect the interests of Christians and Jews. And so, we Christians are waiting for the rapture of the church, okay? And the Jewish people are waiting for their Messiah to come out, okay? And also to rebuild the third temple. And, the Muslims, if you like, they are waiting for the Mahdi, if you like. Okay, so all the Abrahamic religions, if I can put it under that umbrella, we are all waiting for, our own version of Messiah, if you like. We are waiting for Jesus to rapture us out. Israel is waiting for their Messiah, and Islam is waiting for their Mahdi, and this is costing trillions of dollars because if you think about how everybody's arming themselves to the teeth, okay, so the three Abrahamic five, the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians, all of us are arming ourselves to the teeth, just to protect ourselves, from one another, And so, when you think about, the end times, it is costing, trillions and trillions of dollars when you think about it, right? And, not to mention the human cost. I mean, look what this Iranian, regime is doing to its own people. Like how, they are living under anarchism, if you like. So, there is also a huge, human cost in all of this. So, in essence, you could argue that the Bible itself, with its end time Bible prophecies, it is costing trillions and trillions. and it is just unimaginable. Like only God knows how much this is costing, in terms of money. So, and also the human cost as well. So, it is like just about unimaginable to fathom all of this. So, yeah, it is unbelievable, folks. What else I got for you? Yeah, well, I guess Iran, according to the media, okay, they have enriched uranium to 84%. Okay, so Israel is saying that once Iran reaches 90%, in other words, they got 6% to go, then that's a red line for Israel, and then they will have to eliminate, Iran's nuclear threat. Of course, for obvious reasons, Israel has to protect its health, and all of us Christians, we support Israel because Israel is a nation of our God, the God of Israel. So and so we know that once this red line is reached by Iran, that this will then cause, the Ilan Bala prophecy, okay? And, once the Ilan Bala prophecy happens, then this is a domino effect all the way to the rapture of the church. And this is unstoppable. And not even God can stop this, not even God, because God has given us His promises in the scriptures, in other words, in the Bible, of everything that is going to happen. And although God can do anything He wants because He's the Almighty, if there's one thing that God cannot undo, is what he has said in His Word. That's one thing that God cannot undo, okay? Because He cannot touch that, because God is holy, God cannot lie, and He cannot go back on His Word. His made us promises, and so the cost of these end time Bible prophecies are in the trillions of dollars, and the cost of these Bible prophecies are not just in monetary terms, but in human cost as well. With everything that is happening right now, how the world is just falling apart. But of course, all this has been prophesied. Matthew, and in the New Testament, and also the prophets, with the with the five with the five end time Bible prophecies that I always talk about, folks. So yeah, it is just unbelievable, folks. Let me see what else I got for you guys. Yes, so I got my trip to Israel coming. I'm doing a bit of research at the moment. I'm gonna be staying in hostels because the accommodation is a lot cheaper, and I'm planning to stay a whole month in Israel to enjoy it. Like just soak it all in, and I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing preliminary research. I'm looking at using this company called Abraham Tours. Okay. I want to be using Abraham Tours, to go and visit Petra, also, the Wadi Rum, Eilat, Masada, Ein Gedi, the Judean desert, if you like, and I'm also going to be using them to go up to, the Galilee and so on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to the Holy Land. Since I'm going to be landing in Tel Aviv, I might as well just stay in Tel Aviv because it's going to be cheaper rather than going backwards and forwards. So, I'll stay there maybe for 3 or 4 days. Looking forward to going for a walk in the beach promenade, from Tel Aviv to Yafo, having a look at the markets and things like that, and also Bnei Brak and so on, and then just go to Jerusalem and just base myself in Jerusalem and do all my tours from there, So, of course, the Western Wall will be one of my daily favorites. I'm going to see if I can go to the Western Wall pretty much every day, to do brass when I'm there. I'm looking forward to buying souvenirs in the old city. I have a tip for you guys. If you actually go to Israel and you buy souvenirs from the old city, actually post them out to your own place. Don't take them with you on your luggage bags, when you leave Israel. Just post them out, because that way you're not going to have issues with customs and things like that, and you're not gonna have the load. You don't have to carry the load. I'm just gonna plan to buy a lot of souvenirs and post them out, to my brother, and then pick them up from my brother when I get back to Sydney. That's gonna be the easiest way. I'm really looking forward to buying a really nice menorah, in Israel, a talit and a kippah. Using maybe the talit and the kippah when I go and do prayers in the Western Wall. So yeah, of course, not to mention I want to go to the Galilee. All those little towns in which Jesus taught. Like Capernaum, Bethsaida, Chorazin. The Galilee. Also want to visit, the famous mountains, Mount Tabor, where Jesus had the transfiguration. Also the where Elijah, challenged, King Ahab and the priest of Baals in Mount Carmel. I want to visit Mount Carmel as well. I'm the second version of Elijah. And what else? And also visit, the Golan Heights. Israel is just a beautiful country, folks. From north to south. Also, I'm gonna be using like I just told you on top of the video, the Judean desert. Like all of Israel is beautiful. All the hilltops, all the homes that you see. I'm watching a lot of videos out there on YouTube, especially from Relaxing Walker. And Relaxing Walker, he's based in Israel, if you like. And also Jerusalem Walker and Israel Today. There are so many bloggers out there posting videos on what Israel looks like, So I'm watching on a regular basis, practically every day, because I'm exploring the landscapes and looking with a great deal of interest as to where I will be going. I'm also gonna be going to what do you call it, Mount of Olives, where Jesus is gonna be touching down, for his second coming. So yeah, I'm just gonna go visit all the attractions. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna be visiting the Third Temple Museum, okay, and also the Holocaust Museum, and also that museum where they got a full replica, if you like, or a skull replica, but it's a full replica anyway, of how the Second Temple used to look like. I forget the name of that museum, but I'm gonna be going there. Now, because I'm a full-time uni student, then it's not gonna be all peaches and creams, folks. I'm gonna have to take my laptop with me, and there will be days where I'm gonna have to be catching up with homework, perhaps even finishing up term papers and things like that. So there will be days where I will have to go to a local library, okay, in Jerusalem, and do some study, research and things like that, and even where I'm staying in my hostel, catch up on readings, because I can't afford to fall behind, because especially I'm going for a whole month. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, folks. And it's gonna be amazing going to the Holy Land. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I can't wait, folks. Now the only thing that kind of like bothers me, I guess, is I don't want to go there and then all of a sudden we got the Elam and then we got the Secret War. Talk about wrong timing, folks. So I'm hoping that Israel can fulfill its package, or at least I'm hoping that they can get the Secret War out of the way, because Israel will be at peace after the Secret War, okay? And they're gonna be be in the process of rebuilding the Third Temple and so on. So because what happens also is that if Israel is in war, then they're gonna close the airport, and so how you gonna get in and how you gonna get out? And it's a matter of timing this well, folks, when you go there. So now if I don't see Elam or anything like that by the time I go in December, I'm gonna be praying to God, gee with God, I hope that Israel doesn't do Elam whilst I'm here. I want to be out of here and then whatever. But it's kind of like the luck of the draw, folks. So yeah, it's the only thing that bothers me, folks. But we'll see what happens, folks.